Yes, we shall.
Shall we jump in? We're at the 1 hour mark, but some of these are short, so I think we'll be all right. Let me see. Humble brag warning. I just selected at random. Oh, it's a short one. Humble brag warning. You guys, my 5-year-old son just noticed that the downstairs toilet was out of toilet paper, so we went upstairs to the cupboard where we keep it and fetched 2 rolls down to put there. At this age, and knowing all the things I've tried to teach him that aren't going in yet, I can I can accept zero credit for good parenting here. This is just a helpful boy who, despite what some people may assume about his gender, has eyes in his head to notice these things. And I share partly because I'm proud of him, and partly so that you can trot out this story next time someone tries to use gender as a reason they can't do stuff without being told to. There wasn't a question mark at the end of that.
Dude,
That
I
was
swear
like,
to God, these are written by bots that are trying to stir up shit online. Because it's like, why are you bringing up gender? You're bringing up gender so that there's an argument underneath you about gender. Like, who the hell cares about his gender? Boys, I heard women talk today at the office about how when men go to sleep, they just fall right to sleep because they don't have all these, aren't constantly
yeah, we have
worrying
no
and running
stress.
through
Yeah.
lists and
Yeah.
stresses. And I'm like, well, yeah, we're not doing that because we're ultimately like the last line of defense to keep everyone alive. So like we do need to completely shut off.
And
We're
and
bigger and larger.
who do you think's doing the list that you're making? Like,
Who is running the marathon that is the list in your head?
it's so dumb. It's so dumb. It's like, again, you split responsibilities, you know?
I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not a great planner. I'm not thinking 3 months ahead. I think till like Saturday. Even if it's Friday, I'm not going to next Friday. I'm only thinking from this Friday to Saturday, and on Sunday I reset and start looking at the week again.
If we are approached by an alligator, who has to go toe to toe with the alligator?
Right.
Okay, I'm glad you got them all to their things on time and their parties and all that. But who saved everyone from the alligator?
Right, right.
Who has to?
You have to.
Who has to
Right.
die by
Yeah, you
alligator?
can't just knock the clown over and leave the party. Right. Just
And
leave everyone to burn.
it's like humble brag, but she said like I didn't do anything. I didn't.
I don't know if it's a guy or girl saying this.
You showed him or her,
Well, username is Eleanor, so maybe.
and she said her son, right? It was a boy.
Yeah,
5
5 years.
years old. I mean, yeah, that's cool. That's good. That's a high five. That's great. He knows he understands a chore, right?
Or just, yeah.
Replacing the toilet paper.
I don't even understand that though. Like, are there humans who see no toilet paper at older ages, and depending on their gender, they don't go get it more?
Dude,
Like, what do they
I'm
do? Just,
telling you, that is bait.
that is weird.
That mentioning of gender is so crowbarred in that it's just like meant to stir it up in the comment section with the masses.
Yeah.
The m.
I
Ah,
I have noticed that Reddit is very left leaning. It's
oh my god, it's out of control.
look,
It's like Inside
I'm
Out.
not going into politics, but I like to kind of just I like to just sit on the fence, as uncomfortable that is. I like to just sit on the fence right up my butt crack, and
Yes,
I like to look at both sides, right? Like,
Johnny Storm.
I like to look at people making fun of Trump. I like to see people making fun of Kamala. Like, I want to see all of it. I want to see everyone making fun equally in a utopian society where everybody can make fun of everything, right?
Yes, of
So
course. They're
that
all Nimrods.
that's great. But when I go on here, if I'm on Reddit, like, there's nothing. There's only bad stuff about the right. There's nothing about the left, that's negative on here. And I feel
Yeah.
like more and more like, maybe I need to find a different posting site than Reddit for some of these things, but I feel like a lot of these are just people like, I've posted this, grace me with your praise, like it's just this
Dude, Reddit to me
weird
always
thing.
just seemed like it's so far up its own ass that like it was just I don't know. I remember getting into it and being like, this is just, I don't know, man. Go out, get out of the house. Like, what is going on this thing? Like,
Yeah.
get the fuck out and off your phone. Get a life. It's too much. It's too like in depth in a place that like it's like you're discussing stuff that matters in this like secret little hole when you should be like talking about it with another human.
Well, the person is saying, I share partly because I'm proud of him and partly so you can trot out this story next time someone tries to use gender as a reason they can't do stuff without being told to. Without being told to is also just like,
I mean, you got to tell my almost 7-year-old. I got to tell her to do most things. Still, I mean, she'll do things on her own every now and then.
you're right. I think it's just, this is just bait. It's
It's
just
bait, man. It's so
I
unnecessary.
just want to bite it though.
Humble brag. It's like humble brag warning. She put warning in there, but disguised it with humble brag because it's really gender identity warning triggered horseshit. A Russian bot.
like at some age, her son's just going to grow up and stop doing it because he's a boy.
No,
It's like at some age,
I never stopped doing it.
he's
I
like, I've
claim
always
it's the
restocked
laziest
toilet
move
paper,
ever
and then
not to restock it.
he turned 11, and he's never restocked toilet paper again.
Because bitches work. Like I remember me and
I mean, I
my
guess you're
roommate,
expecting it, though, right?
Mike Nuasu, used to make fun of him and Dan shared a suite, and me and Scott shared a bathroom,
Yeah.
and Dan would never replace the toilet paper, and Mike would be like, Dan, you're here, and I was like, it's the laziest move. Like you're already sitting there, just grab it and.
So, well, maybe you did. Maybe a switch goes off at a certain age.
I mean, I'm guessing some cavemen out there think that is bitch's work, but they're all still single.
I just don't get it. I mean, like some of these things come out of it's just necessity. I don't even understand how it's like
right to hold out. Nope.
And how much of the process has to be like, is it just this last step, or is it the guy that cut down the tree and the guy that put it on a truck, and then the guy who ran the mill that turned it into paper, and then the guy that cut it up,
and it becomes domestic,
and then it became packaged, and then it went to Target, then somebody picked it up, I don't know who, and then they moved it over. Actually, there could have been women driving the truck and stuff like that. There could have been women throughout that thing, but that's the point. It's like it goes. Like there's so many people in the process to get that right next to your toilet, and you're like, everybody's worthless. It's like, why not just be amazed at the fact that you still have toilet paper, that somebody out there is still making it, and that your 5-year-old son saw a need and took care of the need rather than leave whatever. I'm just biting it.
It's a chore. It's not a girl's duty. Like it's so
Duty.
It's weak. It's weak.
Yeah.
Duty.
Should tear you apart for not using a bidet.
It's a hot dog on a fish hook. Weak bait.